Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of CruzCoda Plays Minecraft. Today we are starting out in the world of Ballastasia, and this is not going to be a completely vanilla playthrough of Minecraft. We do have a small mod list, mostly some quality of life stuff, a few things to extend the overall look and feel. We have started out in this beautiful collection of biomes, and the first thing that we need to do is punch a tree. I know that sounds weird, but this is the world we live in now. We actually need to punch the tree several times because we need some wood from it. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Minecraft, it is essentially a survival game where you have to grab some dirt real quick so that I can use that for a ladder of sorts. But the entire premise is that you are alone in the world. Your job is to survive. You do so by gathering raw materials. In this particular case, things like cypress logs, which we can turn into planks. Planks can then be turned into various other items. In this particular case, a crafting table. I need some sticks. We need an axe. And we're off to the races. Pick our crafting table back up because we are most likely going to need it elsewhere. Wood is one of those things that you are going to spend a lot of time and effort collecting. Because of the fact that it is a very versatile, easy to collect resource, and on top of that, it's renewable. There we go. Have ourselves a nice collection. Oh, that's beautiful. We have our nice collection of wood. What we want to find next is a source of some stone like this. And what we'll do is we'll put our crafting table back down, and we're going to make ourselves a wooden pickaxe. This is not going to be something that we use long term, just long enough to get a few blocks of stone. There we go. Then we turn that into a wooden pickaxe. Or excuse me, a stone pickaxe. A stone axe. And throw this stuff into our upper inventory. Make some more sticks. And then, oh, interesting. And we'll grab that. Now, some of these things I have no idea what the full extent of the mod pack is. Or excuse me, the mods are. I grabbed a few that looked interesting, most of which were things like additional biomes, so that way we had more to work with. Just a few fun things that looked like they might add a little extra spice. Like those trees, as far as I recall, are not normally in the game. Looks like there is a fireplace, or excuse me, campfire over there. Oh, excellent, now we can make a boat. Have to watch out in some of the deeper water, there might be zombies. Yes, zombies. Oh. Oh, I see. That's smoke coming off of, I'm guessing, what should be a volcano? This looks interesting over here. Calcite? Good lord. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, obviously, otherwise I would not be oohing and awing over it, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, but right over here, it's one of the things that we definitely want. We want sugarcane. Sugarcane is incredibly useful as it can be used for making paper as well as, oh, that is beautiful. Give me all that. Give me all that. It can be used for making paper as well as for making sugar for baking, which will come in handy later on when we are needing additional food. One of the things that I had thought about adding was the create mod, as that is a mod that allows for a lot of automation options. However, I am currently doing that on my Twitch stream, so I figured we'll do something a little bit different here. Now, let's take a look at our map real quick. Looks like we've got a village up this direction, and this is albeit a little bit cheaty, but it does expedite things. But what we're looking at is this village up here, which if you're looking for a safe place and you don't have a lot of materials right at the start, find a village as quickly as possible. That will make life so much easier. Generally, when you find a village, you can actually go ahead and commandeer one of the buildings and one of the beds as your own. But we're going to keep looking. Ooh, some pigs. Those are useful. And what we're interested in is really going to be a nice area to kind of get started in. And I'm not sure if I'm feeling this. We are going to go ahead and grab some of this sand, though, because you can use sand for making glass, but it's also useful for growing cactus on, since cactus will only grow on sand. At least as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong with that. Things change from version to version, and sometimes what used to be a rule in one version of the game has changed. This actually looks like a nice area here. Looks like we've got a nice lake at the very least, possibly an ocean further out. Plenty of wood in all directions, and this is a nice wide flat area. And the flat area is actually going to be beneficial in the long term. Of course that breaks, but in the long term it's going to be useful. Let's see, we want, because of the fact that we can use that for farming. And this is going to be real simple and real dirty for right now. Come here. Probably not a great idea. I still need to be able to see for a moment. And if I had grabbed more stone. Okay. We'll block that off, and then we'll be back in the morning. Okay, real quick. I know you can't see it yet, but let me get some of that going. There we go. Now we can actually see a little bit better. Close that out for now. But went ahead and managed to, while it was incredibly dark, see well enough that I could get some stone. And we're going to go ahead and get this cleaned up, or excuse me, charcoaled up. Perfect. Our first 2 charcoal. And the first thing we're going to do is use it to make torches. And bam. Now, ideally you want to go ahead and get that as early as possible. I'm still kind of late out. If you know what you're doing, you can actually get it fairly early on, and depending on where you spawn, you may even be able to find coal in some hills, which is always a good thing. But we're going to grab some more of this stone real quick, because we're probably going to need it to replace some of our tools, especially our axe. And we can also use down there as the start of a pseudo basement for crafting and such. But get another axe, because I'm going to need it. One of the other things that we're going to do, since we have the extra wood, is make a couple of chests. And you can do that by combining planks in this ring shape. And then we will put double chests down, like so. We're going to hold on to the dirt, because the dirt can be a very useful crafting material. But we'll go ahead and empty out some of this other stuff, especially things like the saplings. Oh, I hear a spider. We can also go ahead and use our wooden tools as fuel for the furnace, should we need it. In fact, let's go ahead and do that real quick. And that'll be a nice amount of charcoal to get started with. put some of these planks back in. There we go. Now our inventory is a little bit cleaner. Put the dirt back down here. Oh, still nighttime. What I may do is go ahead and throw in some sand, 1 or 2 blocks. What that will allow us to do is to make a window, and then we can go ahead and replace one of the blocks with the window, and we'll be able to see when it's daytime out. I want you right there so you're easy to get to. There. And it looks like we do have daytime coming up here shortly. And we're just going to go ahead and grab some more of this stone down here. Lovely amount of gravel. Now eventually, this will all get replaced as I actually add in a proper floor and ceiling and etc. Grab some extra dirt here. While we're at it, let's see, we should be able to make a door. Nice spruce door. Put a way out. And there we go. Nope. I'm going to want to put... There. It's not perfect, but it's a start. And generally, when you first start out, most of your houses are going to wind up being like this. Usually just something so that you can survive the night. Also, of note, during the daytime, spiders will not attack you unless you're underground. However, at night, when it's dark out, spiders will attack you, so do be careful. But let's go ahead and get that tree taken down. Let's start cutting down some of this area. What we're going to do by sort of clear cutting some of this is we're going to give ourselves some space for farming. Now it won't be a lot of space initially. What we're looking for, here we go, some seeds. By breaking grass blocks, these grass blocks, if you break them, have a chance to drop seeds. And you can use the seeds to go ahead and plant wheat. Let's go ahead and break up a little bit more, like so. And later on, when we actually get access to bone meal, which we can get pretty easily already, but we'll wait a little bit first. But once we get access to regular source of bone meal, we'll actually be able to start growing our own grass, which is kind of useful for beautifying an area. One of the things that I've gotten in the habit of doing so that I don't use up any of my tools is actually using one of my torches to break glass. One of the things that I wanted to note here, these berry bushes, if you walk into it, it'll hurt you. So we're going to break them and we're going to save them. And the reason why we're going to save them is because we can not only use them for making some place a little bit prettier, but they also work as a fairly decent defense against certain mobs. Things like zombies and skeletons. Looks like a squid tried to swim up here and died. Unfortunately, the squids in the game are not quite as smart as squids in real life. And then we'll get some of these trees cut down as well. And don't worry, we will actually, we will be replanting a lot of them. We just want to go ahead and start clearing out some of this area for when we actually build our larger house. But let's go ahead and get this wood stored up. Cobblestone we'll hold on to. I'm thinking for this particular build, we're actually going to use cobblestone as a base. And by a base, I mean using cobblestone around the first lower level of the house and then putting wood on top of that. In fact, I could probably even use the cobblestone to create sort of a foundational layer. That would probably look pretty cool. I want to go for something a little bit more medieval. Something that looks almost like a peasant would live there, or at least a slightly well-off farmer or merchant. I have 2 bars at the bottom. I have 3 bars at the bottom, aside from my items. The hearts are my actual health, and that'll tick down as I take damage, either by large chunks or small chunks. The next are what look like little ham hocks, if you will. That's my hunger level, or satiation. And I need to make food, or hunt food, and then cook it in order to refill that bar. Oh, interesting. And as long as my satiation is full, I will automatically heal if I take damage. However, if I am not fully satiated or satiated, then what will happen is that my health will remain at whatever low level it's at. So what we're going to do, since we're by the water, is we're going to go ahead and make a little stone hoe. We're going to grab our seeds here, and we can actually come out a little ways, right about here. And the nice thing is that any tilled soil that is 4 blocks or fewer away from a water source, so in this case the water, it'll get hydrated. Hydrated makes it so that the plants will grow. We can even go ahead, and if I remember correctly, I need some slabs, composter, we'll grab, yep, that'll work great. And we'll put the composter out here, and then just start using some of our saplings. And there we go, now we've got our first bone meal. And it takes a lot of saplings sometimes to make just one bone meal. But that's okay. From that one wheat, we got 4 additional seeds, which totally worth it. Put the wheat in there, and there we go. That's the start of our farm. Let's go ahead, and we're probably going to wind up doing some more digging while we wait for daytime again. In this case, I want to dig away from the water, and we're just going to dig a little mine in here. This is actually, oh, okay, before I get any further, this is coal ore. This is what you want to look for on your first or second day, because this is going to be really beneficial. This allows you to make torches right away. It'll also go into the furnace, and you get experience from it when you mine it out. If you're lucky enough to start in a mountainous biome, you will most likely find coal in the exposed rock. You may also come across iron ore while you're mining it. So sometimes it's helpful to kind of mine around the coal, as you may actually find other things. And we'll go ahead and throw another torch there. Just kind of clean this up a little bit. This will be nice because we can go ahead and use a lot of this cobblestone for the start of our house. Once it hits daytime, we'll go ahead and start looking at where we want to build that. Oh no! Let's go back up here and we will build ourselves another pick. Now you will go through a lot of these. So if they break, not a big deal. build yourself a few of them. It's not going to hurt anything to have extras. You're going to have a lot of stone at the beginning, so just go ahead, make a few extras, and use them up. Now it's when you get to some of the other resources, like diamonds, and in some cases even iron early on, that you do want to be a little bit more frugal with how you use them. Iron, not so much, just because that is a little bit more abundant, but definitely diamonds, even though they mine faster and longer in terms of their durability. And you can see an item's durability as that green bar underneath the item. In fact, if you look at our shovel here, it's a yellow bar, and about halfway through, a little over halfway, probably about 55–60% of its durability left. If it were, let's say, like a diamond tool, then once it gets low enough, we would probably want to repair it. But in the case of stone, definitely not going to be worthwhile. And there goes some extra sand, which makes me a little nervous about where we're digging. But that's okay. We will come back up here. Now, one of the things that you want to watch out for is that at night, monsters will start spawning. Zombies, skeletons, spiders, not that huge of a deal. The skeletons, kind of a pain because they do have a bow and arrow. But the creepers are the worst. They will sneak up on you, and you will hear this hissing sound, and then they will explode. If you're lucky, they'll take some of your health. If you're unlucky, they'll take all of your health and just kill you. One of the things we'll eventually want to look for are sheep, because once we shear the sheep, we can actually go ahead and use the wool to make a bed, and that will allow us to sleep through the night. Let's get some more torches made. What we can do is light up the area a little bit. And this will help in keeping monsters away. Yep, there they are. I'm not in a state where I can take them on. Ha! Suck it, buddy. Yeah, I see you out there. Ha ha. That is something you do have to be careful of, is early on, if you can't afford to refill your hunger in any way, shape, or form, and you take too much damage, you die. And if you don't have a bed to set your spawn point, or where you will respawn, you may have to run back quite a ways. Now, I think what I will do for this room is actually carve it out and start carving downwards. Use it sort of like a quarry, since we are going to need quite a bit of things like cobblestone. This will actually work out fairly well, plus allow us to start delving underground, which we are also going to want to do so that we can get other materials. Now, just because the light is coming up doesn't necessarily mean it is safe yet, and sometimes monsters will go ahead and hide under trees. The trader is here, and he really doesn't have anything. I usually actually shut him off just because he's obnoxious. He hangs around for far too long, and then at night he takes an invisibility potion, which is really, really obnoxious sounding. Oh, that's what I meant. Oh, whew. Yeah, we're going to need to get some food here in a second. Actually, Was I able to? Sometimes you can actually just kill the fish. Yes, like that. Okay, where'd the other fish go? And I may actually be able to... Come on. There we go. What I can do is go ahead and cook the salmon in our furnace. And that'll be the start of our food. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be food. There we go. Let's chow down on this. Oh, and there we go. The healing power of fish. And as you can see, now that we're at full satiation, our hearts have refilled completely. We are good to go. Our crops are growing nicely. We have a nice little starter house here. And before I wrap this up, let's take a look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll go, what was that? 4, 5, 6, 7. I like building on odd numbers because that means that if I ever want to center anything, it's really easy to do that. Now this is going to look kind of silly at first, but this will be the start of our house. And the nice thing about doing this is going to give us an idea of how big we want the first portion of our house to be. And we can expand this, we can carve into it, whatever. This is kind of just going to give us an idea of what we want, at least size-wise. Plus, making the base cobblestone like this is going to give us kind of a foundation to build on top of. So if we want, we can raise this up, we can lower it, we can build up around it. There are a lot of different ways that we can go about this. And one of them, 3, 4, is I kind of want to do, at least for the time being, I want to do a side room here. And I'll probably start off with kind of a loft design where it's just all one room. There was another fish over here. I'm going to go grab this. If you get a chance to start by a river, I definitely recommend killing a fish or 4. Also, if you are out at night and you manage to kill a skeleton, you will get a bone. The bone can be used to make bone meal, which you can then use for growing crops. So the mobs or monsters definitely have their uses when you kill them. But as far as our house layout goes, this is kind of what I'm thinking. Now what I can do is carve out the interior and use this as sort of the bottom layer, if you will. So let's see, we'll put the door here. I know it seems kind of counterintuitive, put all this down after you've already dug it up. But that's one of the beauties of Minecraft, is there are a lot of different ways to do it. Whatever way works best for you as far as design goes, go with it. There we go. And then we dig up this area, and what this is going to become will be the floor. So we'll probably make some of the wood into planks. Oh no, our shovel broke. And there we go. We are now dug out. And we can already kind of see how this is going to start looking. We'll get a couple of torches set here. And here we go. This is going to be the start of our house. Next episode, we're going to go ahead and start getting more of this put together. We'll get a floor in, get the rest of the walls, and then we'll also kind of figure out what we want for a roof, what type of style, that sort of thing. We'll also see about expanding our farm so that it's much larger area, and hopefully we can find some iron or go visit a village and see if we can find some there. Go hide here while nighttime is coming. But if we can find some iron, then we can go ahead and make a bucket, grab some water, and then we can actually start increasing the distance away from the ocean that our farm can actually be in, possibly move it into a more permanent location. That's it for this episode. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully, you will be coming back and joining me for more. As things progress, hopefully, we can see about looking into forms of automation and just kind of expanding our homestead into more of a village, maybe more. We will definitely see. But until next time, try and stay out of trouble. And if you get caught, remember, I don't know you. Catch you later.